This episode of the Opie Radio Podcast sponsored by HelloFresh. I love HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/12Opie. Use the code 12Opie for, ready for this, 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/12Opie. Use the promo code 12Opie. Jimbo Morrison first overall from the YouTube. What's up, Jimbo Morrison? Vincent Scaramuzzo first on the Facebook. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Aaron McCauley and Adrian Driscoll, of course. David Turner. What's up? David Strauss. Hey. Debbie up there in Boston. Wayne Boo Atkins. Daniel Connolly and Darren Albertson and Billy DeTore. Hey, Billy. Where's the doggy? What do you think? Doggy's right behind me. He's sleeping right now. He played with a Mastiff. This thing was fucking huge, and it was on a giant rope chain. The guy starts looking at me. He's like, he's actually friendly, and I'm looking at this thing because it was growling and really wanted to get at Doggy. So I said, all right, let's go, and I let it go, and they played together. But this Mastiff, even though he was, quote, friendly, he was very aggressive and very big, very vocal, and played very, very rough. And then I was like, hey, what's the name of your dog? And the guy goes, Honey. Honey, honey, yeah. And then, he got knocked around a little bit, and the owner was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, man, I want my kids and I want my dog to be knocked around a little bit. Keep them honest. When my kids go in this ocean, my wife gets a little nervous and paranoid. I'm like, man, let them get knocked over by a wave. It'll teach them respect for the ocean. By the way, someone said something brilliant on my Twitter this morning. Something like, most people don't understand the significance of Opie and Anthony fighting with Carol Miller back in the day. And I'm like, thank you. I don't know if we have old timers here, but when me and Anthony came to New York City to do radio, we came from a massively successful show up there in Boston, got fired for the mayor's prank. Everybody wanted to hire us. We had two opportunities in New York, and we picked K-Rock over WNEW. K-Rock was the home of Howard Stern, and fucking Howard put his foot down and said he didn't want those guys on his channel. That's where Baby Boy started with us. Because CBS Radio, they sat us down. They're like, you got two offers. You could go to WNEW, which we own, or K-Rock. So we're like, okay, no brainer, man. We know we were successful on alternative rock, and we'll just be successful on the New York version of WAAF. So we picked that. And, they were a much younger audience than WNEW. And the next thing you know, my agent calls. He goes, bad news. They can't put you on K-Rock because of Howard. I'm like, what the fuck? This is a true story, by the way. He's such a bitch. I should just run through all the bitchy things Howard Stern did to us over the years, but he's such a bitch. So then we had to go to WNEW, which was a disaster and not the place for me and Anthony whatsoever. It was all these old-time rock jocks that were hired by NEW when playing the music really, really mattered. And they really weren't saying much between the records, but for some reason, New York City ate up the WNEW format for many, many years. But now it was very antiquated, and they threw us in the mix, and we were surrounded by all these old timers. The only one that was cool to us was Scott Muni, who's a legend, and Carol Miller came on after us. And she didn't understand why we were making fun of the music and not playing the music and just being good boys about the music. Songs you've heard a million times in your life. And I said, fuck this. We got to take on Carol Miller. So we battled. We battled every day in the crossover. And then she famously said that her listeners are her friends or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just playing a dumb Doors song that everyone has heard on the radio 1,000 times. You don't have any connection to your listeners. When you actually talk like we are today, this is when you make a connection with listeners, right? And she just battled us, and I give her credit for that because the other guys, they wouldn't battle us to our faces. They would leave like hate faxes around the studio. That was before, obviously, social media. So all these people were like, who are these Opie and Anthony guys? They stink. Get them off WNEW. And these assholes would get these faxes coming in, and then they would hang them up around the studio, but they wouldn't confront us directly. And I said, fuck that. So we went at it with Carol Miller, and God bless her for battling us. I think it took a lot of balls. And the significance of that, long story short, was it was either going to be, are we going to continue playing this old, boring, who gives a fuck music, or are we going to do something new and different at WNEW, and we're going to lead the way? And Gary Wall was our PD at the time, and he's like, keep doing exactly what you're doing. Keep battling these guys, because he knew that he was stuck with them for whatever reason, whether it was a union or contracts or whatever. But he loved that we were taking out the old bullshit format of WNEW.
WNEW, the Rock of New York. Good afternoon. It's Opie and it's Anthony. I just reached a milestone with that song, Anthony.
A little milestone in your life? What?
That was the 20,000th time I've heard that song on the radio.
Really?
20,000th time.
That's a lot.
I'm keeping track of it. Yeah,
it's a very important song to play.
A very special song to play during the evolution of the Rock of New York. We're in the year 1982. We're stuck in the year 1982 right now.
Our nightmare continues.
Our nightmare continues, yes.
Look.
Oh, Carol Miller hates us. Here,
plug in your headphones, Carol.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Carol is going to be representative of the people that appreciate this music and this special program, the evolution of the Rock of New York, that has been put together here on
I need a mic.
WNEW. There we go. Now, Opie's cranking up the delay. What, do you expect some cursing, Opie?
Hell yeah.
We're all professionals here.
No, I got to wait for a delay. I need at least 8 seconds. Well, get over there. She's scared of the stand next to you, Anthony.
No, let me get on this one. What?
No, you stay over there. No, stay over there.
No, you guys are like real technical wizards. Right, you got your technical stuff together, don't you?
All right, so what problem did you have with us yesterday, Carol?
Yeah.
You. I had a problem with you, the two of yous.
What happened?
No,
what happened?
Just kidding.
She didn't like the fact that Anthony was playing the kazoo to all these great classic rock tunes.
I think they needed kazoo.
These cheesy, old classic rock songs.
Yeah, how can we go from a week before we start this special goofing on butt old rock, and then we go into butt old rock, and we're supposed to act like we liked it?
Listen, first of all, it's a matter of opinion. But, a lot of this stuff, including the stuff that you were ranking on yesterday, I mean, I really dig this stuff. I was playing it for people. I was there.
People will dig this stuff.
And you know something?
Wait. I dig this stuff, too, when I heard it on NEW, but I don't want to hear it anymore. I want to move on.
Problem.
I want to move on to the future.
Yeah, well, I want to hear it. What do you want to hear? Third Eye Meatball Blind?
No, I want to hear the latest from the Black Crowes. I want to hear the latest from Kiss.
Yeah, so?
The latest from the Rolling Stones. We can't play any of that this week because we have to play Marshall Crenshaw someday, some way.
Well, I think this is a good trip down, like a recent memory lane.
We've been doing that for 31 years.
31 years here at NEW.
This has been a classic rock station for many years. We've been going down memory lane.
You don't know.
Most of these people have every single one of these CDs at home. If they want to take a trip down memory lane, then they should play it at home.
You should go talk at home.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh my God.
No.
Do you realize NEW has to be competitive in New York, move into the future? Do you realize it's been stagnating like a pool of green water with chinch bugs in it?
Well, let me tell you something. I'm not the management here, neither are you.
All right.
But if it's been stagnating, I've been stagnating here for the last how many years, and I still love the music. And there's a lot of people that want to hear it.
Carol, all right, how many listeners did we gain today by going down memory lane playing Marshall Crenshaw someday, some way?
Marshall Crenshaw did a really nice Christmas concert for us.
Who cares? I don't care anymore.
A lot of people do.
This is the music that has gotten us to 23rd place.
No.
Yes, it is.
You know what's
For God's sake,
no, it
Carol.
isn't. If we played most of this music, we wouldn't be in 23rd.
Oh, my God. You're on crack.
Carol,
I'm not on crack. There's a lot of
are you
music.
having a flashback? Did you do acid back in the 60s?
No, I wish I did.
Are you having a flashback? This is
No.
not the music that is going to get us into first place. This isn't the attitude of the station that's going to get us into the top 10.
Jock's doing
New York.
good segues, and playing this crap is not going to get us out of the basement.
Well, we're just talking about
New
music
York radio.
here. We are talking about music here, and a lot of the stuff that we're playing on this special is a lot of the meat and potatoes stuff that people haven't heard in a long
Ricky
time.
Lee Jones, Chuck E. in Love. Who
Well,
cares?
that's, to me,
Do you think I'm sexy, Rod Stewart?
Rod Stewart.
Who cares?
Me and Opie's dream came true yesterday when we had to play Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Well, let me tell you something.
Holy jeez.
That song was always, that was a sense of humor. So that was a funny song to begin with.
It's not a funny song.
Sure it is.
It's an embarrassment.
Sure it is.
Carol, take all these CDs. Look
Yeah,
at them. Look
I'm
at them.
looking at 'em.
I'll get a U-Haul truck. Take every single one of these CDs. Resign. Take those CDs, and you can play them wherever you want.
And we'll compete and see who ends up in the top 10 first.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll make a deal with you.
What?
If I play my CDs for a month and you yak for a month and play yours, I bet you go down to 25th.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, no.
I would like that bet.
No, listen, seriously, guys, I love you. But
If you're brave enough, resign, take all the CDs, and trust me, there's
I
so many
should
radio
trust you?
there's so many radio stations in New York. Someone will pick you up.
Let me tell you all something.
You can take all these CDs and play them and see what happens.
I should trust you.
Yeah, trust me.
Why shouldn't you trust me?
Resign on the air right now. Carol Miller's going to resign.
Oh, kiss my ass, but you'd probably like it.
Come on, resign. on the air.
No. You resign on the air.
Resign on the air. We got to move forward here. Resign.
Yeah, we are.
Take all these CDs. I'll get the U-Haul truck and resign right now.
No,
I'm waiting.
I resign myself to hopefully remaining in my seat playing the best rock of the present, past, and future that I possibly can.
Is it only a coincidence?
WNEW, the Rock of New York.
The only people that are enjoying this is Carol, Scotzo, and Dave Herman.
I don't know that Dave and Scott are enjoying some of this music as much as I am.
I think so.
No. This is the kind of the early 80s.
We have to move this station forward. We feel like we were doing something for a few months, moving forward, revitalizing, re-energizing WNEW, and then now we're stopped. And we're looking backwards. We've been looking back 30 years at this station. Let's move forward.
Time to move forward.
Damn it, Opie. Give me a Metallica CD.
She's not going to resign.
No, I'm not going to resign.
You can have all these CDs and resign.
No, you can have these microphones and resign.
You would have the best CD collection in the history of
wait.
mankind.
You know, actually, we do here at WNEW, and that's why we're playing it for you.
Oh my God! The company line.
This is my music, man. Don't mess with my music.
Well, no, it's pathetic. There's not.
Yeah.
Me and Anthony and I are the only ones brave enough to stick up to the fact that this special sucks.
That's it.
Well, maybe
we'll go on the
one
record.
other person down the hall will come in here and admit to us live on the air that this special sucks.
I understand people put hard work into this. I'm not taking away from that. But the hard work went into Pauly Shore movies, too, okay?
Does hard work go into your show, too?
Yes.
Yes.
We take every show very seriously.
Well, I won't even have to finish the sentence now, do I?
Well, it's not your cup of tea, Carol. And it's not the cup of tea of the people that are liking this special. For God's sake, we got to get out of this.
All right, we got to
get away from this. Cro-Magnon.
I guarantee what Anthony and I do every afternoon, entertain many more people on the way home from work than playing this crap. Crap.
Well, first of all...
Oh, stick around. The Stray Cat Strut is on the way. Can't wait to hear that again. I think I've only heard it 8,000 times so far.
How many times have you worn those jeans?
What jeans? I don't even have jeans on.
Whatever they are there.
What does that have to do with the price of tomatoes?
I'll tell you what. Because your favorite music is kind of like your favorite clothes. Stuff
I'm not wearing bell-bottoms anymore. I don't need to. I've moved on with my...
You want to do that analogy?
Lifestyle.
Sometimes your underwear gets skid marks that you got to throw away.
Well, I'll tell you something.
If you want to talk about laundry.
Bell-bottoms are in this...
I'm turning her mic off.
we got to move on.
We're moving on.
We got to get out of this.
So are you going to resign and take all these CDs? That's all I need to know right now.
No.
Why?
Why should I?
Well, obviously there's like heads banging here, okay? There's Anthony and I and the rest of the whole damn radio station, so something's got to give eventually, trust me.
What are we up to? 1830?
Yeah, well, I've been arm wrestling here for 15 years, buddy, so you just hang on. Hang on.
The evolution of the Rock in New York continues with this ditty.
What is it? You might remember this one. knew them well. But lay them to rest.
Lay the music to rest. Lay the jocks to rest. It's time to move forward.
Let's go.
On the way, John Mellencamp. I'm glad we made our point. Now we got to play John Mellencamp, Jack and Diane for the 10,000th time. Stray Cats on the way. Did we play George Thorogood? I don't even know.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Anybody ever tell you?
Shut up! I turned off your mic on the air and.
I know.
Oh man, you cursed there, man. Oh,
A little tense, Opie.
And that was the significance of us fighting with Carol Miller. Because if we never fought with Carol Miller, we would have been the odd men out, man. They would have knocked us out. Because that's what they were trying to do. They're like, man, if these guys are successful in afternoons, and then we had no business being successful in afternoons at WNEW because we had everything against us. We had to play this music that no one gave a shit about. And we were surrounded by all these, quote, legendary rock jocks. And I remember after about, I don't know, I always say about 6 months. I think it was about 6 months. Me and Anthony were driving back and forth to the city from Long Island for our show. And I remember a couple ratings books came in, and we were not moving the needle at all. And I think I don't know if we signed for 2 years. We probably signed for 2 years. But I knew the clock was running. And I knew if we didn't move the needle soon, we were fucked. So I looked at Anthony famously, and I said, dude, we just got to do what we know what to do, and that is to just start talking a lot more and blow off all that fucking music. Because a lot of times when you get a radio job and you don't have a name or anything like that, they force you to play all this stupid music, and then they're like, okay, you can talk for like 2 or 3 minutes in between, I don't know, Sheryl Crow and the Rolling Stones. So then all of a sudden we're like, well, fuck that. We're going to just start blowing off the Sheryl Crow and the Rolling Stones and the Rod Stewart and all this other shit. And we're just going to start babbling. And then we just babbled. And instead of playing like 10 songs an hour, we were down to playing maybe 2 or 3 just to give ourselves a break. Ratings come out, and all of a sudden it was just like a little bit of a tick up. And next thing you know, we were on a rocket ship and never turned back. And then all those guys got fired one after another, and they started bringing in all the other talk show guys, some that you know to this day, like Ron and Fez and the dude from the Sports Guys that worked with Boomer. Carton, yeah, Craig Carton. He was at NEW back in the day. And then they brought on Don and Mike and that asshole Tom Likas, who would trash us. He was a guy that, oh, God, the Tom Likas story. I love this one. So Tom Likas was on WNEW as well. He was syndicated, but he would come to New York every once in a while and do his show. He hated our fucking guts because we were becoming very, very successful. And so Tom Likas would be in New York. We would finish our show, and he'd be on. I don't remember everyone's shift anymore, but all I know is Tom Likas was on from a studio at NEW trashing me and Anthony. And he used to wear sunglasses all the time in a dark studio. He was one of those guys, man. He was so cool. Oh, yeah, Scott Farrell was part of that lineup, too. Oh, my God, how do I forget Scott Farrell? But we paved the way for all those guys by taking on Carol Miller. That's why that whole thing was so significant. We opened the doors for everybody and a format change at WNEW. So Tom Likas is beating the shit out of us in a studio at WNEW. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. This pussy, he locked the door because I'm like, I look at it like, F this. I'm going to go confront the guy. And I went to the studio, and I was just going to, barge right in while he was live on the radio. Like, what's your fucking problem? Here I am, man. Stop talking shit. I'm right in front of you, right? He had the door locked. So then I'm screaming and yelling all sorts of names through the door, like, unlock this door, you wimp. Unlock this door. That's how brave he was. He was trashing us, but made sure the studio door was locked so we couldn't confront him. Oh my God! Let's say hi to somebody from the private Facebook group. The link is in the private Facebook group. Darren Albertson, what's going on, brother?
Oh, just driving out of Wisconsin back into Chicago.
You're in a truck?
Yeah.
And you're going from where? Wisconsin to Chicago?
Yeah, but third trip already today.
Holy shit! What are you hauling?
Every day, cardboard boxes. That's all I haul. Nothing besides cardboard boxes
Don't we have enough cardboard boxes everywhere?
to last you a lifetime. The warehouse I bought is a 1 million square foot warehouse filled with boxes.
Damn, bro. Where's home?
Just west of Chicago.
I love that Chicago.
Yeah, it's not that fun anymore.
Why? Because of what happened up there.
I got shot at a couple days ago. Just rolling through Chicago.
It's sort of hard to hear you, but did you say you got shot at?
Yeah, rolling down the expressway. The gangs out here like to initiate their upcoming members and having them take fire on moving vehicles.
Are you serious?
100%. You can find it on the news. It's all over.
I believe you, brother. I absolutely believe you, but that's nuts.
We had a truck driver in the south side of Chicago get hit through the door.
They're not trying to take out the actual truck drivers. They're just hitting your rig?
Oh, no. They're trying to take out the actual driver.
Oh, my God. Are you getting hazard pay for this?
I wish. I got hazard pay for being what they call an essential employee during this whole pandemic stuff.
Yeah. It looks like you got a lot of potholes, too, you're going over right now.
That was train tracks. I apologize.
Oh, I don't care. It's all good. Well, God, Darren, it's a pleasure to see you and finally meet you, man. I've seen your name on the live stream every goddamn morning. All right, brother, I'm going to let you go, all right?
Oh, I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Vinny!
Morning, buddy. How's it going?
I'm tired today. How are you, bud?
Moving a little slow. Went out for a friend's birthday last night. You would have loved the COVID protocols there, which were pretty much non-existent. We haven't seen these people. Like, there's a lot of people we haven't seen in probably a year. So all of a sudden, we're going to see these people we haven't seen in a year because, here in Connecticut, the numbers are pretty low. A lot of people got their vaccines. And I'm not a hugger. I know you're probably not the hugging type. All of a sudden, everybody's hugging with no masks on. It just seemed like a little much for first time out,
Man, I felt it in New York. It's over. People, they could try to tell people to hunker down for another month or two, but the collective have decided it's over. It's absolutely over. I got to be honest. Yesterday, I walked into this place that I've been walking into for the last year to get takeout, and for the first time, because I got my first shot, still taking it seriously, but I felt like a new man. Like, holy fuck, I think I could start going back out again. You still got to be careful, obviously, but...
Yeah, they say, I think after the first, I'm not a doctor, so look it up yourself, everybody, but I don't know, 80%, I think, protected after the first one, and then the second one takes you up over 95. But it did feel, we hadn't been out to like bars, I guess, if you will. We've been out to dinner here and there, but we all went out. This whole group went out to a bar afterwards, and it was pretty bad. It turned into, you kind of wear your mask in, how you take it off at the table, and then the mask kind of never went back on. That was
right.
It. People were walking around, people saying hello at the bar. It's busted open now.
Yeah, my doctor friend, look, we're not experts here. I got to always say that when it comes to the coronavirus, but he said pretty much 85% as well. And he basically said, look, you're in a much better position, is how he put it. He goes, just don't go licking, just don't go licking homeless ass. I'm like, you're supposed to be a doctor. What the? I think there's a better way to put it than that.
We're not experts, but the experts aren't experts. If I have to hear Fauci one more time, by the way, I'm a self-hating Italian. Don't put Italians in charge of anything like that. We're the worst.
Oh, you're not a fan of the Fauci?
No, I'm not a fan of the Fauci. I'm not a fan of the Cuomo. You see what happens? You don't put Italians in charge of stuff. I know I'm going to get in trouble for that, but look at my last name. I could say it. I'm sorry.
The only thing about Cuomo, I love that he's not backing down to all the peer pressure around him. I like that part of this whole thing, which is, I'm torn because I usually believe the women when they come forward. But I also hate this cancel culture, and his fellow politicians were trying to knock him out. And he basically said, yeah, I'm not leaving. And now they're looking at each other like, wait, this usually works. He's supposed to step down now. And he's, I like that someone's going to hang in there and actually get the investigation done and not panic and and leave office before the investigation is complete. So I like that part of it, and that has nothing to do with his politics or anything else. I just like that somebody out there is finally fighting back against cancel culture, where the mob gets involved and puts the pressure on you to a point where you're like, wow, I can't do my job anymore. And some of these people know they're probably innocent, but they're like, it doesn't even matter anymore because now I can't do my job the right way. So I guess I got to step down. And I like the fact that he's going to fight it right to the end. And maybe in the end, he's an absolute creep.
Did you see this the other day? I mentioned it on the stream yesterday. There's a blues guitarist, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, if you're into blues music. Yeah, so he got canceled the other day because he won some blues award, and whatever association was giving him this award decided to pull it because he's a classic car guy. And he has an old Dodge, like the General Lee car from the Dukes of Hazzard, the orange one with the 01 on it.
Sure.
And on the roof of that is the Confederate flag.
Right.
So because of that, they're pulling his award. And he gave a great post. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, basically, look, he's between my age and your age. He's late 40s, early 50s. He's like, look, I grew up on this show. This was the #1 show on TV for 5 years in a row. This was my childhood. I bought the car because I love the show. And I'm not getting rid of the car, and I'm not apologizing just because there's a flag on the top. He goes, I actually covered it for the last 5 years. And if you're pulling my award, pull my award. That's it. So
again, good for him, man.
Yeah. Don't apologize. I mean, the guy's a blues guitarist. I don't think
I don't think the two things have anything to do with each other, by the way. I mean, there was a time that car was completely accepted. It was a hit TV show.
We had Matchbox cars as kids of that car. That was the show.
It doesn't mean that you're a fucking racist because you're collecting that car. Where are the reasonable people these days? They're nowhere to be found. And I think, like I said, cancel culture is heading to a point where if you're in the public eye or you're in the arts or whatever, you're going to want to be canceled because that's where the cool shit is going to be eventually, because they're just going after too much stuff now.
Yeah, I guess so. But you were talking about like Boomer and Carton, and then Carton being back on in the afternoons on New York radio. That's a perfect example of you're canceled unless the company thinks they can make a lot of money off you. Then you're not canceled, because Carton was canceled, and then their afternoon ratings were dying. They needed a replacement for the big show that was on there, and then all of a sudden, Carton's, he's forgiven and everything's good again. So,
yeah, well, I mean, it happened to me and Anthony. I tell the famous story. We get fired for the Sex for Sam prank at St. Patrick's Cathedral. They try to ruin our careers, and they made us sit out for 2.5 years. And that the whole thing was they were trying to hurt us so badly that we'd have a tough time coming back, and we certainly did at first. Because there was no social media. So when they say you can't do anything, you're fucked. You can't even communicate with your audience or your listeners anymore. Same company were so desperate when David Lee Roth failed when he took over for Howard Stern that they had to look at us again, and they brought us back to save their fucking company. And it was all about the money they were losing. It had nothing to do with morality. Nothing. And it's a great point by you. These companies have this fake morality, but if they think they can make money off you, then they're going to look the other way. I mean, look, Howard Stern, a lot of old bits popped up of him wearing blackface, and a lot of guys that did the blackface bit, they were canceled. Cancel culture got them, but SiriusXM's like, we ain't canceling Howard Stern. This guy brings in way too much fucking money for us. But if it was a lesser-known show at SiriusXM, then they would have shown their morality and said, well, we got to get rid of this guy, It's all bullshit. Are you frozen, or am I that boring there, Vincent Scaramuzzo?
I'm with you. I don't want to, get people dizzy, but no, the second you can't bring in the cash, you're done. I think I've told you before. I grew up just north of your city place in Yonkers, New York, so just north of the city, and that was the WNEW days, and it was just so much fun. But I think back now to the stuff that was going on. 20% of that wouldn't even get close to getting on the radio right now. It's insane how much stuff you guys got through.
Oh God, yeah, it's amazing. We were the last ones, because when we blew it up with that Sex for Sam thing, the government came down on radio companies, and we made it very, very hard for anyone else to follow our path at that point. That is a fact. That'll be written in the history books of broadcasting. We were the ones that changed the game, because There was a time when you were outrageous as a shock jock and you would get these fines from the FCC. The radio companies would pay them like it was nothing. And it was so funny because it happened to us over the years. They would scold us publicly because they had to make it look good. And then behind closed doors, they were giving us like extra vacation or giving us raises or giving us pats on the back, like keep doing exactly what you're doing. But then the FCC said they understood that game. They said, well, no, we got to make this hurt. So when a radio guy acts up and breaks the rules, we got to hit them hard. And they changed how much the fines were. I forget exactly how high they went up, but it got to a point where these companies couldn't do business with edgy personalities anymore.
Oh, I'm sure. And you were talking about like battling Carole King, and then Muni was pretty cool. He was a legend in New York, and I think that whole battle is what made the show. Like you were, part of the show and part of the ride was the battle, right? Trying to finally be able to do your thing. And by the way, I think when you get 100 listeners, texting you every morning on this thing, when are you getting a show? I think that's probably part of what it is, Bud. I think I know you hate being called Bud. Sorry. I think good. Myself and a lot of the people on here is we feel like maybe this is the next ride.
It's already something to me. I enjoy doing this, and we'll see how far we can take this. That's for sure. As someone's making fun of the fact that I only have 58 people on YouTube, I guess that's supposed to bother me. I'm like, dude, watch if you think this is enjoyable. If not, just move on. Our little group, we don't give a fuck. And if we continue adding people to our little group and it turns into something, well, damn, that'll be just great. I got to go. I want to put one more guy on before I jump off.
Later. Talk to you soon.
All right, Vinny Scaramuzzo, everyone. One of the regulars every single morning supporting the live stream. I think we have time for one more. Let's say hi to Ian. Ian B. Oh, he's got a professional microphone and everything.
What's up, Opie? How you doing?
Why you got a professional microphone? You got a better setup than me.
Oh, my gosh. Because that's how I do it. Come on. I learned from the best. That's why.
Are you a podcaster?
Obviously. Yes, podcaster. Started in broadcasting, a long time ago, 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
But podcasting's been the way to go. I got to say, I've been very happy. I've been doing it for about 6 years.
Oh, nice. What's the name of your show?
Why don't you check out the two-man power trip of wrestling, the TMPT Empire? How about that one?
All right, there you go.
But no, so much, man. No, I'm happy to jump in. I've been a part of the other Facebook group and just very ignorant to know that there's actually the other Facebook group. So I'm a supporter now, and I'm very happily one. I just wanted to jump on and say hi.
Yeah, the private Facebook group is where it's at for me. And, I'm not going to lie, I make a few bucks off that because you gotta pay just a little bit. But
a little bit. Just a little bit. It's okay.
Well, we got a cool little group. And I don't want to open it up to too many people, but I'm also thinking if I do open it up, I could actually maybe pay some more bills.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you, I had to jump in too because when you're talking about the Carol Miller thing, and Vinny called her Carole King, which if you fought with Carole King back in the day, that would have been pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, that to me, going back, I mean, I was in high school at the time, but I mean, that was the one of my favorite things you guys ever did.
Yeah.
And when you told her, take all the CDs and you'll put them in the U-Haul and you'll bring them to her house, it's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. I can't express how insane it was what we were doing because we started playing baseball where Anthony would pitch in the CDs and I would swing with a bat, and we were just smashing CDs every day. And it was their valuable CD collection. We're like, this is all garbage. We all have these songs. Who cares, And then it got to a point we were fighting so much that management had to get involved. And we had nothing to do with this. And sometimes this gets spun. They made Carol Miller stay in the mailroom until we walked back into our office. And then she was allowed to go down the hall into the studio. And I was like, let her keep fighting, man. People are loving this shit, But they finally got involved. And
it was great.
And then it was spun that we were the ones that forced Carol Miller to hang out in the mailroom until we got back into our office. And that's just not true. We loved the confrontation.
Yeah.
And one day she went and she got enemas for us. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
She said we needed a good cleaning or whatever. And she like just famously threw enemas at us. Like she was really battling for the old school way of radio. And we were battling for the new way. It brought back a memory that guy tweeted that this morning just before I turned this on. It was very, very important, that moment in time for radio. So
I had it on cassette for the longest time because I used to literally sit by the radio and I'd record as much as I can. I sometimes have to tape over it, but I'd take the cassette, I'd throw it in my car, I'd drive around, I'd listen to it, I'd laugh my ass off the whole time.
Yeah.
Because that was, that was like an awakening for anybody in their teens, early 20s listening to that stuff. You felt like you were being, part of something that was big, and obviously we'd see how big it would get. But oh my gosh, now that Carol Miller thing, I could listen to it tonight. It is just, it's so funny. And when you go like, look, I'll get the U-Haul. You want all these? I'll take all these. I'll put them in there. I'll bring them to your house. You can have them forever.
Yeah, yeah, right on. I love that you remember that. That's the one thing as far as the O&A run goes. There's not a lot of stuff online from our Boston days, and I got all that stuff. And then there's not really a lot of stuff from the WNEW days. It seems like a lot of the stuff that's on YouTube focuses on the satellite radio years.
Yeah,
and it's a lot harder to find the WNEW years. And that was only a quick 4 years. And man, I got to start organizing that better and maybe start throwing some of that shit up on my channel because it was a very different show too, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Very different show. We had to adjust when we went to satellite radio and change our ways, and we were able to be successful in a whole different way when we moved over to satellite.
Just a funny thing. So I worked for Howard Stern when you guys came back to XM, and I was an intern. I worked my way up to working in his personal office in his apartment building. And you guys had just come back, and they had handed me an NDA, right? I emailed the show, and I was like, look, I got this NDA here, and I don't want to sign it, but I'd love to come work for Opie and Anthony or do something for Opie and Anthony. Right. And I got nothing. I was like, oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
We had so many people that wanted to work for the show. It was kind of overwhelming. That was the overwhelming part of the whole run. It was a runaway train, man. And now it's like I'm out here just chilling, looking at the ocean every morning. It's a very, very different world for me.
Oh,
can you tell any stories from your Howard Stern days before I wrap up this thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was the end of his run on terrestrial. So, I mean, I was in K-Rock, that last little stretch. And the last day he was on K-Rock or on terrestrial radio, that was a crazy day. Stuff that was going on behind the scenes, the lead up to it. They were threatening to pull him off the air a bunch of times. We were having to shred shit behind the stage. Sorry if I was cursing. You had to shred stuff behind the scenes. But that day, and this is not just to, say it to you, we battled a group of O&A fans that was outside K-Rock. And it was a whole thing chanting at the groups that were coming in for the Stern show. And it was such a sight. And that to me, that was the pinnacle of the time working there. The bottom part was the pay. The pay was terrible. But, I made $10 an hour. And then the first contract they gave me, it was $27,000 a year. And this was in 2005. So how far do you think that would have got me in New York City?
Yeah. When Howard announced that he was going to satellite, he did a big appearance. Where the hell was it? It was downtown. Fuck, what park was it in? He was taking over this whole park. And we decided that we were gonna, break into his little appearance, and so we actually got hotel rooms overlooking the park with walkie-talkies, and we were controlling the action, and we were getting our fan base or whatever, our people to go in there with the Opie and Anthony signs and banners and the XM logos and stuff. And it was all coordinated with the big bosses were involved with this. And we all had walkie-talkies. And then the moment was like, go! And then everyone at the same time, marched into the appearance with all the Opie and Anthony and XM shit. And it got back to us that Howard was fucking pissed that we didn't ruin his big day, but we kind of made it a little miserable for him.
Oh yeah, you guys weren't liked at that time. I can tell you that much. I was like the secret listener. Me and and the kid from TMZ, Adam.
I love Adam.
Yeah, Adam. I was interning with him back in the day, and we were like the only two I think that were fans of you guys. Secretly behind the scenes. But I mean, I know you got to wrap up. I got tons of stories because it was everything that all the big people say. That come out and do all these shows. Everything's accurate because it was such a weird place to work, especially even then too at the tail end of terrestrial into satellite. What a weird time. But man, I appreciate you giving me a couple minutes and getting on.
Oh, right on, Ian. You gotta tell more Howard shit next time I see you. All right.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime.
All right. There goes Ian B. Thanks, brother.
You got it.
All right. Very cool, man. Yeah, these are just a few of the people from the private Facebook group. If you want to join us, you just got to click on Become a Supporter on the regular Facebook page. All right. I think we did it. That was fun. Oh, I didn't even notice. I think some people gave a few bucks today. I appreciate that. That keeps me motivated to do these things every morning. And I think that's it for today, man. This was definitely fun. I think I got to start getting more of you guys on the live stream. So I'll start putting that link in the private Facebook group on a more regular basis. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, if not sooner. Have a good day, man.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo.